Hey y'all, I just wanted to go ahead and share with you where my garden's gonna go and what I'm using to plan my garden and help me get through my first year of year-round gardening. I am standing in my front yard right directly in front of my house, and my garden is right here behind me. If you can see that little shelter thing over there, ignore that. That's a project for a future video. That's if it doesn't sit there and rot before I get to fixing it. Anyways, I put my garden in my front yard because it's for, you know, shade purposes. On my property I have no shade. I have no shade trees. The only thing that provides shade is are the shelters, like my home, my barn in the back, and that's really the only shade that I have. So, and by the time in the summer, by the time I have shade, the sun has pretty much already set. So I put my garden in front of my house because that's the first place that gets any shade in the late evening, and that's when I plan to do my harvesting. I do suggest that when you're planning out where your gardens go, if you're in a situation like I am, where you don't have any shade, just pay attention to what the sun does in the summer. So, because you may need more shade so that you can actually get out in your garden and enjoy it. Now, if you're doing a fall garden, you want to choose that, you want to put your garden in the area that gets the most sun. So it's very important that you pay attention to what the sun does before you just decide where your gardens are going to go. And I hope that where I'm putting my garden is good. This will be our first big garden, so our first really big garden. We've had little gardens, but this is our first really big garden, and I hope that it's not going to be time wasted. In the fall, I went ahead and tilled the whole entire thing 3 times, raked it all out 3 times, got all the grass out, and then it's been covered since doing all that tilling. So come spring, hopefully, and I have composted it, so hopefully come spring it'll be ready and ready to grow some food in it. I do imagine that I will have some weed issues, so my plan is before spring hits to hopefully maybe uncover it, see how many weeds are going to grow there, and either till it again and rake it all out, or maybe burn it off. I also am going to kind of do like a perimeter burn all the way around it, so that that'll hopefully, like when we're cutting grass, that'll give us some space between the actual yard and the garden to keep any seeds from flying over into the garden. You know, it's not going to be perfect. There are going to be some weeds. I'm going to do the best that I can, but you know, it is what it is. You know, when you're gardening, you're always fighting the weeds. So anyways, I kind of have already diagrammed on, you know, what's that paper called? Like the grid paper. I've diagrammed, like I've measured my entire property so that I can get it as accurate as possible, so that I could just write it all down, and everything is color coded. Really cool. Very simple, but it's really cool. But anyways, back to what I'm using for year-round gardening, and this is the first time I've ever tried to do year-round gardening. I am using this book, and this is not like a paid promotion or anything. This is just what I'm planning to use this year, and I hope that I'm successful with it. If not, then, you know, I've learned from it and I can make adjustments where necessary. But this book is for the Southeast. It has in it, it has things separated for the upper Southeast and the lower Southeast. And where my home is located, I'm right on the line of the lower, the upper and the lower, and right on the line for the Piedmont and the coastal plain area. So I'm hoping that this year I can just go based on what the lower South plans are in this book, and if it works, that's great. If not, I learned something, and I know that I'll have to go back to what the upper Southeast plans are for this book. But anyways, in this book, and this book is a mess. I've had this for years and never actually used it, but in this book, I mean, it's a mess. It's dirty. Dog chewed the corner. Kids have colored on it. And I have all, like, I've read it over and over and over and over and over again with plans of using it, but never actually started a big garden. And this year I decided, 2020, I decided that I was going to start doing year-round garden and try to do it on a massive scale. So what I like about this book is in the beginning, it has this getting started section. In this book, it shows you kind of like your location, and I am, where's North Carolina? I am about right here in the Piedmont section and not far from the Coastal Plains section. So that's why I'm going to try to do the Lower South plans in this book, because if you come up here, it actually shows you the Upper South and the Lower South, and I am right, I'm not far from that line at all. So I am going to try to do the Lower South. Also, it has everything. I mean, it's an amazing book. It has everything, like month by month, what you should be doing that month, what you should be planning, what you should be sowing, what you can harvest. And then one of my favorite things is, and I'm sure you seed savers will love this, especially if you like categorize your seeds. And that's one of my plans too, is to categorize my seeds by month, by category, and when they need to be sown. So in here, it has sections for the Upper South, and it has sections for the Lower South. And I'm just going to show you an example. So for the first one, we have arugula. I hope you can see it. We have arugula. Well, here in the Upper South, you can plant you can sow mid-February to the end of April, and then you can plant again or sow again August through October, and then it shows you when your harvest times are going to be. And so I think that's a pretty neat idea as far as if you're categorizing your seeds, you can make little notes of when to plant them and when you can harvest them, and it just helps keep you organized. And so I hope that I was able to be helpful and give you an idea of a resource that you can use if you're in the Southeast. If you've used this book, that's wonderful. Please leave a please talk to me in the comments, or please leave a comment so that you can let me know what successes you had with this book, what didn't work for you, so that maybe I can implement those things as well. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and maybe I can answer them. I'm just happy that I could share this book with y'all and share what my plan is for the new year. And hopefully it's a success. If not, then I'll regroup and figure out a better way to do it. But I think this is a really good starting point for my adventure in year-round gardening. I got this book at, I think I got this book at Books A Million. It was years ago, so I'm not quite sure if that's where I got it. You could probably find it on Amazon or something like that. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope I was helpful. Please like, comment, and share, and I'll talk to y'all later.